Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing the best format on Arena whenever it shows up, which is not today, but unfortunately, I pre-recorded some. So, we're going to be playing some historic Brawl with a brand new Kaldheim commander, actually, and the reason why I wanted to play this commander is for some of my favourite mechanical cards, the legendary sorceries, and we'll get into what they do in just a second, but we'll go to our commander first, I suppose. We're going to be playing Kaya the Inexorable? Something like that. 5 mana, 5 loyalty. You get to tick up for a +1 to put a ghost form counter on one non-token creature. It gains whenever this creature dies or is put into exile, return it to its owner's hand, and create a 1/1 spirit creature token with flying. You can also -3 to exile a non-land permanent, and then the -7 gives you an emblem which says at the beginning of your upkeep you may cast a legendary spell from your hand, from your graveyard, or from among cards in exile without paying its mana cost. So, I was really trying to utilize all three options on Kaya with today's deck. So, the ghost form counters are especially useful on creatures, obviously. So, I needed to get some control-based creatures to go with our -3, which is kind of a control-based option. Removing any non-land permanent is just chef's kiss. And then the -7 is actually our win con. It's not our only way of winning, but it is the stylish way of winning for sure. Being able to cast a legendary spell every single turn is pretty insane. Fun fact, if you -7 Kaya when she's on 7 loyalty, you can put her in a graveyard, and even if she gets exiled from the graveyard, she can cast herself from her own emblem. So you've got a Kaya for the rest of the game once you've hit that emblem, which is pretty insane. So we only have to go up to 7. We don't need to go any higher than that to keep Kaya in play. In fact, we'd much prefer that we didn't, because I'm sure if we want to cast Kaya, it's probably for that -3 from that point forward. So that's kind of the idea behind this commander. So, as I said, I really want to build around legendary sorceries with this one so that we could cast them over and over again. The legendary sorceries that we get to play in our colours are Urza's Ruinous Blast and Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. Urza's Ruinous Blast is a legendary sorcery, and this mechanic is basically one that says that you can only cast this if you have a legendary creature or planeswalker in play. Now, as I mentioned, our Kaya emblem allows us to play Kaya from our graveyard or from wherever she is other than the command zone. So that means we can actually enable the legendary sorcery part of this to be able to cast it. Urza's Ruinous Blast allows us to exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. So it's pretty much a massive board wipe every single turn if we really want it. If it's not so useful, then we have Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. 5 mana legendary sorcery, same restriction. You get to put up to 1 target creature or planeswalker from a graveyard onto the battlefield, and then destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. And then it gets exiled, but we can cast it from exile, so that means we can cast this every single turn. It's pretty dope. That means what we can do is we can either reanimate one of our own win conditions, like Kaya or Liliana or something like that, or we can reanimate our opponent's win conditions while also destroying their win conditions at the same time, so that we can maybe then from that point forward use Vile Offering on the recently destroyed creatures. I absolutely love this card. It's not as powerful as it should be, but you know, in Historic Brawl, I think when you get to cast it every single turn without fail, it's pretty backbreaking. So the rest of the deck is to play around Kaya and to keep us alive until we can get to that ultimate. So the +1 means that we want to get some creatures in here that do some wonderful things. So things like Skyclave Apparition exiles a converting mana cost 4 or less permanent and gives our opponent some tokens back when it dies. Murderous Rider, this is a fun one that you're going to see today actually. It's a 3 mana 2/3, however it has a swift end, which means that we can kill a creature or planeswalker. So if we use the swift end to kill a creature or planeswalker, and then we play the Murderous Rider creature side, we can actually tick up with Kaya on Murderous Rider, giving ourselves a 2/3 that when it dies, we get a 1/1, and Murderous Rider comes back to hand. Because Murderous Rider does say when it dies, it goes to the bottom of its owner's library. That's not going to be the case, because these triggers are going to happen at the same time, both the Ghost Form +1 and the shuffle to the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to order the trigger so that it comes back to our hand, which means for 6 mana, essentially, we've got a destroy creature or planeswalker, lose 2 life, with a 2/3 occasionally attached to it, as long as we got Kaya around, which is pretty insane. Similar things are things like Cavalier of Dawn as well. Enters, destroys a non-land permanent, and gives our opponent a 3/3. When it dies, it returns an artifact or enchantment from our graveyard to our hand. Got plenty of artifacts. The enchantments, though, are pretty dope. We've got Eldest Reborn to make our opponent sack, discard, and then we get to reanimate. We've got Elspeth Conquers Death, which is exile-based stuff, similar to like Kaya's -3, but a little bit more restrictive. Attacks for Chapter 2, and then reanimation again for Chapter 3, something that Cavalier of Dawn can cycle between. So Elspeth Conquers Death can reanimate Cavalier. When Cavalier dies, it can pull back Elspeth Conquers Death, and then the cycle can continue, as long as Cavalier remains out of exile. Which again, Kaya can tick up on Cavalier of Dawn, which means if this 4/6 with Vigilance dies, we get to blow up another one of our opponent's permanents. So we got repeatable removal with Kaya's +1. It's pretty absurd. We also have Athreos as well as an alternative kind of Kaya's Ghost Form interaction here. 6 mana, 4/7 with Indestructible, as long as its devotion to white and black is less than 7. It isn't a creature. And at the beginning of our end step, we get to put a coin counter on another target creature. And as long as Athreos is in play, whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, we return that to the battlefield under our control. So we can steal our opponent's creatures with this, pick whatever we want on their side, put a coin counter on it, and then Heartless Act it, despark it, cast down it. You get the idea. We blow it up, and then we gain control of it. Again, it's another one of those ways that we can win with our opponent's deck. I would imagine that's kind of how most of the games end up going. We're going to win with our opponent's stuff. We can, obviously, as I said, win with our own, but it's far more fun to steal your opponent's things and win with them. Got 6 mana Rugen in here, because he's going to cheapen up our artifacts, make them free. He's also going to be able to destroy permanents that are one or more colours. And also make 2/2s, which is card advantage for us. It's the one weakness of this deck, I would say, is that card advantage is a little bit weak, but that comes with the territory of Orzhov control. I've played this archetype many times in the past, and I don't think we've ever had good card advantage with Orzhov. The card draw for Orzhov is typically in a really weird place, where you look at the card advantage as something like Elspeth Conquers Death, which comes in, removes a permanent, so that's a 1/1, and then the Chapter 3, you rely on that to give you some value, and that's your card advantage. That's kind of how this whole thing works. We also have Phyrexian Arena in here as well, which is, I think, our only way of literally drawing cards. Oh, I guess Treasure Map also works, and Mind Stone to a certain extent. We do have Redain in here, one of the few Kaldheim cards in this deck. Funnily enough, Kaldheim doesn't seem to make too much of an impact on Historic Brawl outside of our commander and some one-of fun-ofs. I think, honestly, Redain might be the only Kaldheim card in here other than that. I guess the Snow permanents, but they're only here as a debate. They're literally here just to make your opponent think that we've got lots of cards. Actually, no, I lied. Blood on the Snow's here. Destroy all planeswalkers or destroy all creatures. And then if we spend 5 mana, let's say, I think 5 mana is the sweet spot. Suppose we could also do 6 for Liliana. We get to return a creature or planeswalker with CMC or mana value X or less from the graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of snow spent on it. So it's a nice little board wipe that can reanimate as well. It's an absolutely lovely thing. This deck was very, very fun to play, and according to my chat, was very fun to watch as well. It does make out some very long and grindy games. It does not win very quickly, but the games that we did play had a lot of fun back and forth. There was very few non-games with this list on either end, really. I think we gave both ourselves a chance a lot of the time. And as always with Historic Brawl, today's video is going to be brought to you by the old Twitch stream highlights. So if you do want to join in on a Twitch stream and challenge me to some games which may feature themselves on the YouTubes in the future, I do have a link down in the description below to my Twitch channel if you want to go and hit the follow button on there. We go live every Wednesday and Saturday. Sometimes it's a little bit flexible. I'm not too strict on my stream times, really. But Saturdays are usually Historic Brawl days, so if you are interested in playing some Historic Brawl, that's one way to do it. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the gameplay anyway. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, as always. And let's do this. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Oh no! Commander that shuts down my commander. There's a fair few cool new commanders, but for the most part I would say Kaldheim is fairly low impact on Historic Brawl in general. I think I can keep this hand. It's expensive, but I have a Scry. And maybe Redane can do something fun. Hey Nosy, how's it going? That's a Yorvo. And a Pelt Collector, okay. Solid top deck there. I guess I'll keep that. Do you think it's worth learning Mandarin? I don't know. I guess anything's worth learning. Maybe not every single card in Magic the Gathering's history is text. That's probably not worth learning. But you just pick that up as you go along, I guess. Mono green +1/+1 counters. Yeah, it seems that way. We've played against this list before and it absolutely destroyed me. So I expect something of a similar degree this time around. What is quite interesting though is that I can go Redane. And it means all our opponent's Snow Forests are going to come into play tapped. And Vorinclex is more expensive. Oh, actually, no, it's not. It's only non-creatures. But still. This works for me. I need to buy myself some time anyway. Yeah, we got Snow Basics now, and a couple of Snow Matters cards. We've also got Gods as well from Kaldheim, which are nicely themed. Oh no, my tap land. Alright. And Monster Kai, if you haven't seen this bad boy, this thing is absolutely ridiculous. 6 mana, 6/6 with Trample and Haste, and counters are basically doubled on anything, including Planeswalkers entering the battlefield, which means if your opponent has an Ugin in hand, for example, it can ult the turn it comes out. Absolute nonsense like that is to be had today. Yes, we drew a land. Alright, that means we can do some interesting things. The level of interest is to be determined what we're going to go with. I guess we want to go Eldest Reborn first. Get rid of Boy on board, and then hit for another 2. Not all, like you'll find 17 million of them. Vorinclex is actually not showing up too much. There's like one deck built around the Sultai Ultimatum, if you remember that one, which allows you to put monocolored cards into play. It uses Vorinclex and extra turn spells, I think, is the combo. So it's pretty silly. There is no doubt about that. Alright. So they can Vorinclex whenever they want, which is spooky. Certainly spooky. I need to make sure that I've got non-land permanents exiled. I think I'll just go with 6 mana Eugene. The ban list would be exclamation point. Actually, it might be a ban list now. House bans also works. Let's get some card draw going. Alright, get on in. Yeah, I think I need this around for Vorinclex most of all. Tap land. I got him. Yeah, we updated the command so it has ban list as its thing now, didn't we? I haven't seen Death Touch Tribal or Giants in a while. I think Death Touch Tribal is kind of a bit of a gimmick though, right? Because it's reliant on a single creature staying in play. Ferrin or whatever his name is. I don't remember. It's cute, though, if you put a Porky Parrot. Ooh, dear. If you put a Porky Parrot mutated onto something, you can do some fun stuff. Alright, well, I think that needs to happen. It's not a bad card as such. Alright, let's get in for 2. Play you. Get rid of you. Get that Vorinclex out of here. And start making some more 2/2s. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Yeah, every single time the commander enters, it gets 2 counters. Every time it attacks, it gets 2 counters. It's pretty absurd with Vorinclex. For sure. Card advantage monstrosity. Tap land, by the way. Why has Max got so many tap lands in the deck? Who's my commander? My commander is Kaya the Inexorable. We're going to go with that. 5 mana, 5 loyalty. I can put a Ghost Form counter on something. So when it dies or just leaves in general, it comes back to my hand. So it's pretty tasty on things like Cavalier of Dawn, for example. I think that might be where I place my Kaya. Get you on there. So if Vorinclex comes in, I'll just block with Cavalier, and then we've got a constant stream of Cavaliers to kill Vorinclexes. Alright. Yeah. I think that's all it really took. We just needed to stabilize. Surprise, though. This thing shuts down my deck so hard. Kaya ult gives a squee ability to every legendary? Yes, it does. And we have legendary sorceries that we can also cast from anywhere. Every single turn. These ones require us to have a legendary creature or planeswalker in play to cast. But still, as long as we have our commander in play, we Ruinous Blast every single turn. And I get to keep all my legendary stuff, and my opponent doesn't. Lost the moment you cast Redain. Oh, damn. It is very prisony. Alright. Erebos. Bleak-Hearted. 4 mana, 5/6 indestructible. As long as your devotion to black is less than 5, Erebos isn't a creature. Whenever another creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. You can also sack a creature to give -2, -1. So the card draw is going to be kind of annoying for us, for sure. Oh, look, it's 3 mana, chat. How long's that going to last? I'm keeping this. I'm keeping this. I might even just throw this down turn 1. It's still 3 mana, though. That will never last in a mono black deck. I think because I've drawn my lands, though, I'm just going to play my planes and go. It is now 4 mana. So this is interesting as well. It's going to put it into exile. And I think this... Yeah, this allows me to cast it from exile if I get the emblem, which is kind of funny. So I'm just going to put this expensive spell in my exile zone and potentially cast it. Alright. Go. Oh, by the way, Naxor in Nasty. I don't know if I missed you, actually. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Genuinely don't know when that follow thing came up, but I clearly missed it. There's the error boss off of a Phyrexian tower. Okay. The quality mic tonight is reminding me of what happened yesterday when Metallica played a show and streamed and got DMCA'd. Yeah, I saw a little bit of that. I didn't actually watch the show, but it was brought to my attention on the old Twitter sphere. Wonder what would happen when a creature gets both Kaya and Athreos' counters. It's a replacement effect, right? So they happen both at the same time, so you get to choose what order they go in. I guess it's not technically a replacement effect, it's more of a trigger. You get to choose what order they go in, so one fizzles the other, I think. I believe that's how that works. Have you heard this crazy jazz? You guys sign up for this? It's exceptionally crazy jazz. Alright. So I'm going to take 3 here. They can sack in response to removal, so we'll see what they want to do with this information. Kind of want to tap them out and then exile it that way if I can. Or hit something more powerful along the way. But I'll admit, it is very annoying. Bastion of Remembrance. So that's when we hit it. Because it's 2 mana to sack. And they got the tower down. Village Rites? Oh, god damn. It's probably the only card they could have had there that saves the day. I believe we're going to get rid of their commander. Leaves us on 2, so we can survive a hit from that token. One day, Tom, I'm going to run a game of D&D and you're going to love it. Well, we'll see about that. I don't know. I had a little bit of fun the one time I played D&D, but I'll admit I didn't know the rules, and I'm pretty sure I broke a fair few of them just by doing whatever the hell I wanted and hoping it was going well. It was just like, yes, I'm going to do this nonsense thing. I'm just going to derail your story entirely. Because it's funny. I'm that person. Alright, goodbye, Kaya. Some DMs are really receptive to that type of player. Yeah, I don't know if they could go down the I don't know if they could go down the rabbit hole that I'd send them down. It's quite a big ask. Alright, so I think we're going to get rid of Phyrexian Tower because it's kind of annoying. And we'll grab a Plains for this. I'd hate to have you on my tail, because you know too well exactly the level of derailing I would go down. Ooh, this is a pretty song. Alright. So no more sacking in response unless it takes cards away from them or Erebos is in play. We've at least got that knowledge available to us. Erabobo. So I think I want to just take some points off the board because I'm going to want to do this. Likely take him out of play again. Or maybe we go for ECD instead. I guess an ECD instead would be quite good, because then they'd feed the swarm to stop me from getting Kaya back from my graveyard. I just want that to be the most expensive card in their deck. Land drop. DM is close to the rules. We can't be having that. We can't be having that. Oh, this shade is really annoying. And he's without a doubt killing me the most, I think, here. Oath of Kaya. Get rid of you. I've abandoned the Chapter 3 on ECD. The sequencing could have been better, because I've just realized I want to do that. Alright. I think the answer might be both, Monster Kai. And the answer is maybe. I don't know. Won't rule it out. Alright. So the fun thing is, if they kill Cavalier and it doesn't die, it just comes back and brings back ECD with it, probably along the way. Ooh, God Eternal Bond too. You're a thing. Draw 2. And Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Alright, let me just check you again. You're the one that never leaves, ever. Yeah. You're the one that says, as long as you exist, you're a problem. So I think I need to kill you, mostly because you'll just sack my Cavalier off anyway. And then I guess I'm gonna have to Kaya and tick up. That means Kaya will survive a Bontu attack. And in order to push through any more, they're gonna have to kill the Cavalier, but I do have to dodge a removal spell right now. Should be unlikely. Yeah, okay. Well, we get an ECD to hand, so it's not the end of the world. I think I'm losing this one, though. I just can't quite get a hold on this game. We would gain a little bit of life as well if Kaya was to get attacked here, so I think that's why they're heading straight for my life total here. At least ECD Chapter 3 has a target now. You're an Aristocrat, alright? Yeah. Ooh. So, this is really risky. If I was to go for this, it would be quite naughty. I guess I could hit the Noble first. 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 4 snow permanents right now. So I'm not reanimating.
least you deserve.
Still think I've got to do it, though. Third from the top. Off you go. Save me, magic gods. Give me a thing from the top of my library that is useful here. I don't even know what it could be. I guess, a Yawgmoth's Vile Offering could be interesting.
I require servants. Your corpse will volunteer.
Skyclave Shade. I'm gonna go for the tick up.
Smelly, but effective.
Wow. Had I drawn that earlier and had that in play, then my Blood on the Snow would have left me with a Cavalier right now. As it stands, that is very much not the case. Let's try and get rid of you.
Death won't conquer me so easily.
I think I've got to do this. You cost 9, I think. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Please do not have another sack in response, draw loads of cards thing. So that would be less than ideal. Can I mill them at all? I don't think so.
That was an easy job.
I don't believe I can now. Hello, Poseidon. Welcome on in. Genuinely think I have to do this. I don't think I can go to 3 from a deck that has consistently drained me from the very start of the game. Got to imagine that they've got like prankles and stuff in there, but we know they're not top decking at the very least. They are, however, going to draw a million cards if they really want to, because this amount of mana, it's probably unnecessary. You could sack some lands off for that. Okay. Well, we do have Kaya for that. Also that. I think we go for Kaya here. If she dies, then Chapter 3 on ECD brings her back.
Death is inevitable. And so
We're just... we're just hanging in there by a thread.
least you deserve.
I think we're going to be dead, though, once this Bond 2 gets its job done, though. Hey, Harlequin. Because they can card advantage the crap out of me right now. I just can't get ahead of that. We have Cavalier coming out on Chapter 3 right now, killing Bond 2. Reassembling Skeleton, sure. And Gutter Bones. I have been upkeep stopped. This is scary. Or I think I got upkeep stopped anyway. Oh no. Don't say cling to dust. Don't cling me, bruh. What could they have? Yep. That'll probably do it. Really needed that one card you removed there. Alright, so Banishing Light. Gets rid of Bond 2. Back into the deck. We go... Redain. Protect Redain with a Ghost Form counter. So we have a 1-1 no matter what. Still not dead, chat. Still not dead. I don't know how it's happening, but we're still not dead. Mind Stone. It's enough to play Erebos, but not to activate Erebos. Hagra Mauling, okay, so... Redain comes back to hand, I get a 1-1. And I trade off Gutter Bones. Gives them the spectacle they need to reanimate it as well, I think, right? Maybe not. Maybe not. Alright. Bit of that. Bit of that. Bit of this. Not dead. I can draw a card as well off Lockthwain. Oh my god. Infinite mana. I don't know if I dare draw a card, to be honest. One Division indeed, Nosy. No leading spoilers, but yes, very good. Must watch. I'm all caught up, and I'm very impressed with where it's going. Alright. Weakening my boy Dream Devourer, so they can play God Eternal Bond 2. Draw more million cards. You got to imagine they've got what's this? Torment of Hailfire in that deck of theirs. This is so risky. So risky, but I'm doing it. It was not worth it. Maybe it's kind of worth it. Where to from here, though? Do we put Bontu back in the deck? How many cards they got left? 22? We've really gone through their whole deck. Good lord, it can't last forever, though. I feel like I need to remove things off of this board. For devotion reasons, though, Cabal Stronghold kind of makes that not necessary. But also for sneaky Bontu action.
Don't worry, I got you.
So I think I will destroy a creature with no counters on it. That's the Barack Obama song. Alright. Vigilant boy, go. Pass. Please, magic gods. Keep me alive. I don't know how you could do that, but do it anyway. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, chat. Is that lethal? That's probably lethal. Yes, that's gotta be lethal. We held on, but I think we were just ultimately, as it turns out, wasting time. Let's see what we'd have drawn. Draw a card. Oh, I know, I'm gonna. Eldest Reborn. That seems very useful as a top deck. Sarcasm. Alright. We have been destroyed, finally. Mr. Breakmind, have you added your planes to your deck? That was a very good game, Ekimos. Very good game. I wonder if there was a card that I could have actually played that would have stabilized me there. I don't know if there was, honestly. If I got to the Kaya ult, then I do get access to Athreos from the Exile Zone that you put there on turn 2. that would have allowed me to target your creatures, and every time you sack them as part of your little combo, I would have owned them, which is a thing. But other than that, I don't know. This sounds very weird. It's a 3-lander. Can I keep this? I can keep this, right? This turn 1. What a weird hand. I'm keeping it. Yeah, but it kind of killed me in the same sense, though, because, well, actually, no, it was Village Rights, wasn't it, that when I went to go kill your Skyclave Shade that was just absolutely dominating me card advantage-wise. You had the Village Rights at exactly that time. This joke of playing Omnath. Fun fact, not banned in Historic Brawl. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. We haven't played Historic Brawl long enough to know. Honestly. Well, we have. Wizards haven't. Alright, let's get you in the Fatale Zone. If Mr. Breakmind fails to get the planes one more time, I will laugh. But they've got it, okay. Because I was just like, Teamer. Forgot to save Uro. Also not banned in Historic Brawl, or Brawl for that matter. Also not that bad of a card, in my opinion. For Brawl, being a one-of just makes it strangely fair. Land go. Ban list for Historic Brawl hasn't been terribly curated. Yeah, I just don't think anyone at Wizards is looking at Historic Brawl at all. In my personnel opinion. It's like they banned Ruined Halo, which admittedly does have kind of a similar feels bad effect of things like Drannith Magistrate and stuff like that. But it also, in the entire time that I had played Historic Brawl, was never cast once. Not once. And that just very much slightly irked me, because it's an enchantment that can be interacted with. You should be running enchantment removal to begin with. So I don't know. That's why it's on my unbanned list, and you've noticed since I've unbanned it, not a single person has actually played it in their deck. Again, because I don't think it's playable. It's good in Mono White, but Mono White needs all the help it can get. Yeah, we'll get it once next Friday. Oh, fantastic. Right. What are we doing here? We're ticking up for... I don't get the spirit, right? No, I don't get the spirit. We're going up. Let's go Mind Stone. Into Arcane Signet. Into Murderous Rider. That felt quite nice. We can actually play Murderous Rider, and then I think the replacement effect means that if I tick up on this, I get my Planeswalker removal back to my hand. Not tried it yet, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. And for anyone who wondering if the Athreos Kaya interaction, how that would work, it should work exactly the same way as this. Essentially, oh, that's a big boy. Oh. Oh, hey, Bam. Yeah, it was a beaut. To say the least. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can go... Let's play around counter magic first, I think. Let's kill this giant. Fun fact, though, I can tick up on this Murderous Rider, and when it blocks the Grasping Giant, then, Oh, squash again! Dang it! Alright, there was no sequence where I wasn't going to get punished, I don't think, because I was never going to tick up to nothing when I had the option. Yeah, this says exile it until it leaves the battlefield, but this says when it gets exiled, I can put it back in my hand. So I could technically bring this back and do some nonsense, but I still want to kill it anyway. Yeah, this is 4 color giants with Omnath leading the charge here. Oh, that's a card. That is quite the card. What are we doing with that? So they've got Uro value, green, green, blue, blue. They can reanimate as well. That's not too bad for me, though. I think I'm going to get Kaya out there. I think we're going to test this little theory. Hold back for blocks. I love this card so much. It's very much not that good of a card, but I love it so much nonetheless. That is a towering giant. Damn. Oh, that works so well with the Birth Melita. Sack the wall, give all your giants trample. That's dope. So we're going to go 3 damage, or are we going to exile some cards? This deck's sweet. I like this deck. Shaskal, Charger, and a Mountain. Alright, let's test this theory, right? So Murderous Rider should die. When it dies, it goes to the bottom. I also have a counter on it, which means this goes first. It should bring it back to my hand first. Boom. Look at that. Permanent Planeswalker removal for 6 mana and a tick up. That's probably what he wants to do anyway, to be fair. Alright. So. Get in for 1. Then we're gonna Doom Scar. I suppose I could... Oh no, you can't tick up on spirit tokens. So I'm gonna Doom Scar. Then, because they've got this Charger with Trample and Haste, I kind of want to block it. But I also don't really need to either. I could probably get down for Phyrexian Arena. Let's get a Plains in case they kill my Signet. Then I've still got plenty of white. Could do this. Grab this 5/7. I don't mind that. And then submit 0. Pass. Alright. Possibly going to be doing something really crazy, chat. Can you make a card you don't own come back to my hand with Kaya? Unfortunately, no. That would be very amusing. So the first one's gain life. The second one is mana. The third one, sorry, is the one we don't want, which is damage to Planeswalkers. A little bit of a dodged bullet there. And here's Uro. Very weirdly escaped the cards there, but that's okay. Alright, we've got some cool turns coming up now, chat. I think we might have stabilized to the point of winning. Here's hoping, at least. Only white mana left, so we don't have to worry about any rampy shenanigans, I don't suppose. Come on. Come on, don't kill me. No! Why? No! Leave Kaya alone. We could have ulted, chat. Oh, and then we'd have had Vile Offering every turn. That's so rude. No, if I tick up on Grasping Giant, I will get the Spirit, but they'll get Grasping Giant when it dies, so I don't really want to be doing that. So rude. So close, I know. I know. There's still an opportunity, though. You just need to find, like, an Urza's Ruinous Blast, or some nonsense like that. So I can do a sweep here. I don't mind that. So we're going to get rid of 2 cards. I'm going to get rid of both, really, aren't I? Realistically. Yeah, I'm getting rid of both. Tick up on you. Or maybe I Oath, get rid of you, actually. It's pretty much the same thing, really. No, it's not really the same thing at all. Omnath has landfall triggers we don't like. And then a free 5 damage, maybe? Opponent's at 36. I don't even know how that happened, but here we are. Alright. So we know they've got 1 hasty Shatter Skull Boy. Got a 3/3. Pushing through, as we've mentioned, does mean that they're going to have to go through my Cavalier. Cavalier's got nothing to pull back right now. I've got to say, this Kaya deck, it might not be the best deck in the world, but it just seems to be creating some very cool back and forth games. Shatterskull Charger, that's a 5/4. It's going to stay in play now because they've kicked it. Interesting, yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea. Alright, so let's go Murderous Rider. Tick up on Murderous Rider, gets us a new blocker. I can't do both Arena and Kaya, unfortunately. Not enough black. I think Eugene sounds good then, if that's the case.
My presence alone will guide you towards...
I do love RNGesus taking the wheel on this 2-headed giant. Oh, God, can you tell me why this was printed at Rare? Good lord. So if both heads pop up, then they get double strike. Both tails, it's menace. Otherwise, it's nothing, right? That's how that works. I'll take my chances. As someone who's never seen a 2-headed giant do anything, I'm up for that. Do we want to play Cavalier in here as well? It's guaranteed to die on the block, but we get rid of some stuff. And we get a token in its place. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. Gotta get some pressure on, right? Yeet. That ain't coming back. No! That's so brutal. Oh, God. Okay. I should have checked my triggers, actually. I almost didn't get Murderous Rider back to my hand. Still not in an awful position. We still technically have good blocks. But that could all change. Good. Okay. Block. Chump. I don't like being at anything less than 15 right now, so I'll take that over. Just being straight up dead to some random stuff. Oh, look at this. This treasure map. I wonder how much it costs. Nobody knows. Alright. Cavalier kills Realmclaw Giant. Kaya makes Cavalier return.
Ghosting feels weird, right?
Oath of Kaya. Kill the 3/3. Tick up some more. That's not a bad card. We will tap out now. Oh! It's 0, actually. Oh yeah, Ugin. It should have shown me a 0, but still. Makes more sense now that the mana had been manipulated. Yeah, it was more that there should be a 0, same way that these exist, right? Unless they've changed it since I last remembered. Not quite sarcastic, but... oh my goodness. The giant sweepers, I've got to say, are brutal. Quite brutal. That is a 12/12. I'm still somehow managing to keep up, though. Let's get an upkeep stop as well. I don't hate it. I genuinely don't hate it. I think we're going to take that. I don't think we're using it, but... the option's there, I suppose. Alright, get rid of a 12/12. Play you. Tick up on you. Tick up on you. Again, I wonder whether or not we could have tapped to play Phyrexian Arena here, but that's okay, because we've got Treasure Map to do some nonsense. And we can still get in for a decent amount as well. How long have I owned this thing? It's not going away. It's nice stealing your opponent's giants so that you can play around their giant wraths. Scry 3, and then the next one's just draw cards for big boys. Is this deck going to be made into a video? I guess it could be. It hasn't really done the exciting thing I wanted it to do, which is usually a prerequisite for the decks, but I don't know. I like it. I like what it's doing so far. I think it is making good content, I would say, Ekimos. Alright, there's an Omnath. Redraw. At 35 cards, I'm genuinely wondering whether or not this will mill me before I win. That's kind of why I asked. That's fair. It makes a lot of sense. Alright, it's time for Uro to be removed with an undercosted card, I think. Not a land in hand. Then we're going to flip some treasure maps. Ooh, spin the wheel. As a whiff. Alright, Cavalier. It was worth a try, right? It would have done quite a fair bit. Oh, wow. That's a top deck. I'm okay with that. Let's make sure it never leaves ever again.
Don't worry, I got you.
Baffling in the Uro. And then we've got solid attacks here, which I think that's all I really care for. And we got a flip treasure map down the line as well. I'm not gonna... let's see. I guess I'm gonna just stick that on Omnath. You can have a coin counter. It's the only thing that actually needs one right now anymore, right? This game is over, yes. It is very much over. I guess our opponent can have Banefire. Or Banefire adjacent cards. Because short of Murderous Rider, I'm struggling to gain life here. Crystalline Giant is a thing. Okay. Vigilant Giant, eh? This is just insanely punishing, right? It's so one-sided. I'm not sure whether I want a land drop, but, you know, I'm likely to draw a land anyway. Look at that. Scrybug. Like, I really want to do this. I really want to. See if we can get anything sweeter. That's interesting. So if I played this, ticked up with Kyra, and then did this, I'd just get an extra spirit, which is a thing. It kind of feels unnecessary, but at the same time, why wouldn't I? You want me to Wrath? Yeah, I mean, let's go to combat and then do some Wrathing, I suppose. Let's go. They might not even block. They might be admitting defeat with this attack. Yeah. Honestly, I think I'd be right there with them. So if we'd have Wrathed... View the battlefield. If we'd have Wrathed, we would have gained control of Omnath. Cavalier would have returned to our hand and left us with a spirit. So would Murderous Rider. We'd have drawn Heartless Act and D-Spark. And then this puts a coin counter on something. This puts a coin counter on Dream Devourer, I guess, once I replay it. I've still got Ugin to tick up with and Kaya to tick up with. Your Jank was very fun to play against. I'll say that much. He was doing alright, though. These wipes were quite brutal at the time. I think I was just very lucky that I'd Vile Offering a giant ages ago. I didn't know how impactful this one particular creature was going to be to the game, because I think I'd be dead without this. I think the 5/7 Vigilance allowed me to pressure you and allowed me to block some of your very, very large things. So, yeah. Good game, though. Good game.